What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Throttled Roots podcast, recorded right here at our studio inside of Ventura Harley-Davidson. If you're looking for a new pre-owned or any service as well, make sure to come check them out over here. And of course, this episode is brought to you by our sponsors, none other than Joe.
Law Tigers.
Law Tigers, baby. If you're injured or involved in an accident, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Man. All right. Jonathan is our guest today, man. Jonathan, what's up, man? This guy has a change. I'm gonna give you a quick little where Jonathan comes into my life and how he fits in, and why he's here. You know, why I kind of said I need you to come on the podcast. I need you to talk a little.
Honored to be here, bro.
He is now, I guess you can call him my coach. That's what he would go by. I am now more fit than I probably have been. I'll be honest with you. You're hearing this stuff probably for the first time in all my life, feeling it, like feeling like I'm doing something, right? Good. So this is the first time I'm feeling that. So that's where Jonathan kind of fit in. My wife introduced me to the gym. She said, I want to go to the gym, and, you know, trying to be the supportive husband, you know, and recognizing that my fat ass need to lose some weight and stuff, you know? So Jonathan came into kind of my circle, and his gym kind of fit the bill for what I'm like. 30-minute workout, goes hard, get in, get out, knows what he's talking about. This is a spot for me, man. So I'm glad you kind of ran into my circle and kind of crossed my path, man.
Likewise.
So, welcome, brother.
Hey,
welcome,
thank you. Glad to be here, bro.
Yeah, glad.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Yeah,
appreciate you guys.
So that's a little bit about where Jonathan and I and our kind of background goes in, you know, and come to find out, you know, this is a motorcycle kind of based podcast, right? But it's a trip to me how it's always like somehow, some way, even if the connection, like this was originally through a fitness thing, somehow, some way, there is still a motorcycle and car connection to this guy as well, man. So
that's cool. Works both ways.
You ride as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. When he said, I got a Harley and I used to be in a car club, I'm like, I think we just became best friends. I think we're good. You know, I think we're good. I'm going to hate you for 30 minutes a day, but I'm going to like you when I'm done, you know?
I'll take that 30 minutes.
Yeah. Cool. So,
that's a positive 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I get middle fingers all day long.
All day, I'm sure. All day. So yeah, man, that was the connection when he told me he had that. I'm like, right on, man. We got probably a lot to talk about. A little bit about before we go into the fitness stuff. Everyone always wants, where's the car stuff? Where's the background in the car stuff and the motorcycle kind of come from?
Well, as a kid, my friend, he got an apprenticeship with this guy who liked to rebuild classic cars, and then he quit, and there was room for me then, and so I had an apprenticeship rebuilding classic cars, and I helped this guy rebuild like from the bottom. Man, I was under the car with like a grinder, like getting the tar off the bottom of it. Like,
the grind.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect car, like a 1964 and a half Mustang, you know, convertible. It turned into this love for cars, right? And so
how old were you about that? How old?
I was 18 at the time.
Young. Okay. So young influence then.
Yeah. And that was my first introduction really to like classic cars, because it was his obsession was classic cars. And so then, you know, this guy, I looked up to him, and he was kind of a mentor for me, you know, in this way, and showed me how to work on cars, and wanted to share that culture with me, and man, it stuck with me. And so like during the Army, I bought like a 75 Camaro, which isn't that great.
It's not that great of a year Camaro.
No, but
was that
really
second gen?
It was really fast. It was a terrible, like with the metal bumper. It was really bad, like some rubber in it.
Yeah,
but it was my first like kind of race car, I guess.
Muscle car kind of. Yeah.
And it was fun, and I did all this work on it, and not that great of work, you know. But and you know, the oil will spill out and then land on the muffler, and then you know, the whole it's smoke behind it. And I learned a lot of good lessons from it. And then, you know, got out the Army, and a friend of mine bought this 60 Chevy Apache. It was such a like,
ooh, I like Apaches.
It's really nice.
I love Apaches.
At the end, it was really nice, but it had this engine in it, and he bought it, and then he sold it to me for $2,000. And then we get the engine checked, and it needed a new engine. Like, he sold me like a piece of metal, dude. And I'm like, oh man, yeah. And so like I had to rebuild that, and then he had like this, you know, a 60 El Camino, and my buddy had, you know, a 70 Camaro, and then like so we started, you know, created a group called the Wreckers, and It was just a bunch of
The
guys.
Records.
Yeah,
That was a name. Is a car club still around?
No, because eventually we got families.
Yeah,
you know, like soccer games every weekend instead of beer at the you know all day at the park, right? So you know that happens, and then but in the end I had a 63 Pontiac Star Chief, and it was like a 4-door. It looked like a cat. It was 19.5 feet long.
Yeah,
and
it was a boat, boy.
And it was on bags, and it had straight pipes, and it had all of this pinstriping. It won for pinstriping all the time, and it was like a matte black. Beautiful car, man. And it just sat in my garage for a couple of years, and it was like starting to like kind of like that, you know. And so I was just really sad that like I didn't have a use for it. I didn't, you know, and you know that feeling. I know, because you got this truck.
I got this stupid motorcycle that's rotting in my backyard too.
Well, same thing. So when you get in these cars, there's always this feeling of like, I might break down today. Like I might need, like I might need a tow, or I might need to call my boy. Like that feeling. And so like when, you know, like I was just sick of feeling that way. And so like I put that together. You know, this is like a few cars in between. You know, I fast forwarded it. But then after that, man, I really wanted a Harley. And so from the Pontiac Star Chief, you know, I added some, you know, I sold it and added some money and got this Vicla.
Yeah, you don't seem like a total looking guy, dude.
From a total gangster, like for real, right? It had
He does not look like a Vicla looking.
It was a Road King with some decent apes and some straight pipes, with the fishtails, the whole thing. Yeah. And I rode around like that for a couple of years, like few years, and then I realized like how the wind, like I really like having a fairing.
Yeah, I feel you. But like most of the time, like my first Harley was a Road King also, and it wasn't nearly what it was by the time I sold it. It went through many transitions, but the first phase when I bought it and I started doing my thing to it was Vicla. And the reason it was is because that's what I grew up around. That's, you know, I grew up around, you know, that culture, that lifestyle, low riders, and I saw those type of bikes, and I'm like, yeah, I like that. That looks gangster.
It did look good.
It was gangster. Like I want to be rolling down like mob, hands up as high as I could be, bandana on my face, sunglasses, little brain bucket, and just stretch. That's the look I wanted to go for, you know. And so everybody's bike. It's just interesting.
As you get older,
is it because of the cars? Is it the low riders? What was it about the Vicla that kind of was like, that's the style I want?
I'll tell you this. I looked for months, Craigslist, all of these things, right? And I would look at all these bikes around Southern California, like around, like for hundreds of miles, I would look out. And then when this bike showed up, I got goosebumps. I was like, I don't know what it was, but that was the bike. And it had only 10,000 miles on it. It was beautiful. It was like a special, like it wasn't a special, but it's like
what year was it?
04.
04, okay.
Right. And but it looked like brand new. Like it was a brand new bike. And so I loved it. I went and got it, you know. And
I saw Joe nod his head when you said that was the one. Like you knew, like because we've all been through, you know, Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist when it was a thing, and all the, you know, Trader Express, you know, all that shit. We've all done that, and there are times I can relate to where you're like, I've seen a lot. This is the one I need to go. This is it right here. You know,
I don't care what price it is. I don't care what it is. This is the one I want. This is what I'm looking for.
I have a funny story about how I got it though. Right. So I rode dirt bikes for years, you know, maybe a decade before that, but I never rode a Harley. I didn't even know how to start a Harley. I knew I knew how to ride, you know?
Yeah.
I got 10 grand in my pocket. So I made all these appointments in one day all over Southern California that I was going to go here and test drive this and here and test drive this and here and here. And then by the end of the day, I'd go home. It was a long day, right? Well, the first one, I had to tell the guy, like, hey, man, I've never ridden the bike before. You know, I've never actually done. You're going to have to start it for me. You know, I don't even know what to do, bro. I mean, but I have 10 grand. So we'll count it out. You hold on to it. And if I don't come back with the bike, it's your 10 grand. You know what I mean? If I crash the bike, when I come back, we're going to count the money. And then,
I'm taking a wreck bike.
Yeah. Or, you know, either I get the bike or the money, right? So I did that. One guy, we actually did that. And then another guy, like, I didn't tell him because by that time I kind of knew. But then, like, the last guy, this guy, he was gangster, bro. And I said, hey, man, you know, I got this. I don't know, you know, do you want it? I don't want to hold on to it. He's like, nah. You can like, see, that's just trouble, bro. Like, just go ride the bike, dude. And so that, and like, that was the best bike I rode, man. The other one was kind of like, it was newer. It was like, but this one was my style.
So how long have you had that one now? How long have you?
About 10 years now.
10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've had mine. 2016, 15 is when I bought mine. So damn, I've had mine for 10 years. Holy
So-
shit.
Yeah.
so
I was 36, dude.
wow.
37.
I've always felt like when I have that feeling, I like to have somebody with me when I go look at that bike,
To validate it.
because not to validate it, but sometimes your mind gets so fixated on something, you want it so bad
To check you.
that
to hold
you
you
will
back.
overlook a certain thing or certain something to get that bike. And if you have a buddy there with a conscience saying, bro, come on,
Like,
dude.
look at
Like,
that leak, bro.
are you
That's a bad
kidding me?
idea.
Like, you're really going to let that fly right now? Like, hey, you know what?
Guilty.
Hey, slap yourself in the
right.
head. Boom. All right. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Or, hey, they can help you with that. You know what I mean? And yeah, that ain't bad, bro. Like, yeah, buy it. You know,
I
what
would
mean?
need, if I ever got a bike, I would call you guys for sure, because like,
Well, you didn't know us at the time, you know.
yeah, well,
but
I mean, next time, like,
yeah.
I don't want to sell this bike. I
Yeah.
just want another one.
There you go.
But
man.
it's not-
Now
it's
you're
nice-
talking.
I want a
Yeah,
second one.
it's
Now you're
nice to have that guy that doesn't need the bike. You know what I mean? To give you a clear head of
Yeah.
what you're
That's an
actually buying, man.
objective
Because
standpoint,
like
yeah.
you said, when you get those goosebumps and you want something that bad, everything else goes out the fucking window. You know,
Yep.
you just want that bike or that,
Yep.
whatever it may be.
I got lucky,
you know.
that it was a good bike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
You
for
know,
sure.
And I knew bikes because I did dirt bikes, so I kind of understood, but
Right.
and not the same thing. You know?
So, well, how often do you get to ride it? I mean,
Twice a
you're busy.
month.
You're a busy man. You're
Twice
busy
a
man.
month.
Business owner. Get it. You're busy. Twice a month. That's
More lately though, because of the things going on in the gym, like less, right? Because
Yeah.
of the challenge. But like usually we try to go out every Sunday and
There
we'll
you
go
go.
ride the canyons a lot. We ride the canyons a lot. I like to do that because
Oh, you
I'm
got to come with
crazy.
us. Then. You got to
And-
come with us.
and
We'll scare you.
listen to some music. Yeah, I'll see you. I'll be like, catch up with you guys.
I cruise now. Man. I cruise. I
There's-
let Mikey and all those other guys.
Hey, there's some days
I
where
let
I'm just
Mikey and
like,
Roach
you know
go for
what?
it.
I'm feeling it today. Like,
Sometimes.
there's days where I'm like, you know what? I'm in this. My bike feels good.
Yes.
My mind is
Those days are
is
fun,
like,
man.
because when you ride the way that we do, Joe,
Oh,
and
yeah.
not all the time, we don't ride crazy, and not to like toot our horn and say we're the baddest sons of bitches
Mm.
out there, but when you ride aggressive in that way, it is a moment. There are a few things in life where you need to be just focused on certain things, and riding a motorcycle in a racing manner or just aggressively like we tend to do.
Yeah.
If your mind is on something else than just
Forget it.
that's when things happen. So
Yeah.
I guess where I'm going is there are some days where I'm like, I am in that zone.
Yeah.
And I am get
Yeah.
out of my way.
Yeah.
There's nobody gonna keep
No,
up with
I
me
love
today.
that
And
too.
there is,
I
man.
love
Or
those days,
you're
man.
feeling that road. You're just everything on the bike is clicking.
Yup.
Your mind and body is right. Like, yeah,
Yup.
you're feeling it. I mean,
But-
you hit backside 150, bro. I'm gone.
And
You know
but
what I
there are
mean?
days
Like,
like we had Cody here last week,
Yeah.
and he gave the advice on the other end of it. When you're not, also listen to when you're not feeling it.
Yes.
You know, when your gut is
I
telling
saw
you,
that.
when your gut's telling you something else, listen to the gut.
Yeah.
You know, go with your intuition, man.
Yeah.
So basically, listen to the little man. Listen to the little man. You
Yeah.
know.
I ain't taking no chances.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to I'll be not cool and live. It's all good. You know
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I'll be cool. and
I
have
wasn't
all my
always that
ladies.
way, but as I've gotten older and more wise, yeah, bro, I don't give a shit. You could go up there. And to be honest, man, when that happens, I actually tend to find myself getting nervous and scared nowadays. Like, I don't want to see my homie or my cousin or nobody go down. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I almost back off sometimes,
Just to hold it back a little
hoping
bit.
they'll back off. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
if they're with somebody else, you know,
That
they're
comes with
gone,
age,
dude.
man. That
But
comes with age and experience. Now
it gets
I'm my
scary.
old man now because he used to tell me the same
Yeah,
thing.
you know.
And as I'm getting older, I'm like, Oh, that's why my old man was telling me that shit. You know,
Yeah.
I'd be pissing through a canyon, and he'd tell me, "I'll see you. I'm a grown man. I know how to get there. I'll see you when I get there." You know, and he'd cruise and just look at the trees and listen to the birds tweet. You know,
Yeah.
that was.
And at the end of the day, we're the ones that are screwing ourselves because they're just cruising, riding, having a good time,
they're
and we're
enjoying
sitting there waiting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I don't get to
We're
see a
sitting
thing.
there waiting.
Yeah,
We
you
didn't
just-
see
all you saw was
shit.
the road,
Yeah.
And that's exactly what my dad would tell me, man. He'd go, "How do you even see anything when you're going 100
No.
miles an hour through the thing?" I'm like, "I don't." He's like, "Did you see that nice waterfall? There was a waterfall."
Yeah.
You know. So
When I make that left off of Casitas, you know, on
Yeah.
to 150, right? I'm
Yeah.
looking around.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
I'm
it's a
trying
nice
to look.
ride.
I'm looking at that lake when we're going around.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
no,
mean?
for sure.
I'm looking at stuff because I used to, because you know, the road is boring.
Well, riding fast
know,
and riding
that's
hard and
fun,
aggressive
too.
is fun.
That's fun
But-
too. Yeah.
Man, picking your head up and just like if you got some music and your boy, you can see like 5 bikes in your mirror and your boys are behind
fun.
you, and you're just you're
Yeah.
like, man, this is dope. You know, that's another
I
element.
even not prefer, but I enjoy, man. Like I know people don't like riding highways and freeways much, man. But when you're on the freeway or the highway and you got a solid 6, 8 guys,
Tight,
10,
though.
It's
10,
fun.
and you're doing 80, 85, dude, just tight. And I mean, flowing through the traffic. I mean,
It's a
that
vibe.
to me is a vibe and a feeling that's just like,
Yep.
oh, this is badass.
I
Like,
agree.
Yeah.
it's almost just as fun as ripping through a canyon, you know.
Yeah.
And also even canyons, if you're cruising 45 and you could still hit them side by side with 6, 8 guys and you're doing that, I mean, that's nice
That's
too, you
wild.
know, 40 and just kind of cruising, but staying within the speed, and you're actually just staying with the cruise, you know, not trying to
I've been on a ride
compete,
like that.
and you're just overlooking stuff, man. I mean, it's a bitchin' vibe. You kind of stagger up and stuff, you know, but that's a good feeling, man, when you got good people that ride around you like that. And
I
you're
don't know.
just
There's
really
something I
tight-knit,
actually
you know.
really enjoy. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I'm not a pro, but I like splitting lanes. I like
Oh,
traffic.
yeah.
I like, you know, I like it's a kind of an adventure.
It's the adrenaline.
Yes,
That's what it is.
it makes me like,
Yeah.
I like it because I'm really like,
Yeah.
I didn't think about nothing else. Just like
Yeah.
you said,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what and it to me, I enjoy it too. I look
Yeah.
forward to it to a degree. Like, it's scary, but I like it.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think like ride your ride. We've
Yeah.
said it. We'll preach it. Ride what you're feeling that day. You can ride this way one day. You can ride this way the next day. But the point is, there's so many ways to enjoy a motorcycle more than just like what you think. Whether it's fast or whether it's this or aggressive or be the fastest guy or the coolest guy or the
Yeah.
whatever. There are so many elements inside of a motorcycle where you can find happiness and joy
Yeah.
besides just the whatever it is that
Well,
you
it's
think it is.
It's like
know?
you said the other day, you know, when me and Mikey and you did the podcast, and then you kind of split off and took the one backside 150 back by yourself.
Yep.
And you even posted, hey, there's a lot of things I take for granted in my backyard here. And I bet you cruise that whole road like nice and cruise. Just I bet you were on just
Well,
chill mode, dude.
I was
just
like,
enjoying
wow.
it.
That was exactly what I was, man.
Yep.
The wife was on her way home. Nobody was home. I was like, okay, I got some time. I just did a little podcast
Yep.
or whatever. Yeah, we'd done a podcast. We rode, but I'm like, I need a little bit more me seat time. And I just did exactly what
Yeah,
you said,
and
man.
that's nice
I took
too,
my
man.
head up out the clouds and went, man, I live in paradise.
And
Right.
it's nice because I mean, even getting into a canyon by yourself like that, and you're just cruising, but
Yeah.
you're just flowing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just every turn, just glide.
All right, let's go for a ride. Enough podcasting.
Love it. I'm ready.
I'm ready to go for
But
a ride.
yeah,
Let's stop
man.
talking about this
That's
shit,
awesome, man.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah,
So,
good
But-
stuff.
yeah, motorcycling is a thing, man. It's and that was me when you told me that was me going, oh man, me and this guy we're gonna be cool, man. And going to your gym, listening to you, you know, talking to you. You're a coach in that way, man. Would you dub yourself coach, like a life coach, fitness coach? Where would you dub it as?
I like coach. I mean, I feel like honestly, like there's a leadership aspect to it too.
Yes.
And the truth is that like I never was a manager. I never was in charge of anybody. You know, I never had to lead anybody until I did personal training.
Yeah.
And also just from learning my own life lessons and also like learning how to interact with each person, you know, separately according to like what they're receptive to without being a fake, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Those things created, I think, in me, like, yeah, maybe a life coach, but like I don't like to call it that necessarily because I ain't got all the answers, you know what I mean? But I feel like I have enough to offer to, like, you know, be a positive force in people's lives, and whatever that is, I want to be that, man.
You're being a leader for people is what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're not even managing them. What you're doing is giving them the keys to success. And it's up to them
convince them to take this path.
And it's up to them to manage it properly and do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It is.
And what you're doing is giving them that.
Well, I mean, I've been going to the gym now for what is it, 6-7 months, something around there. I've been going to the gym now since about middle of last year. And I mean, I'll say that I would dub it a coach, because if you that's how I perceive it.
That's right.
And when I'm in the gym, and I say this because from experience of being inside of your gym, working out, listening to your message, because those are your four walls. You said it. What happened? This is a message that I've heard you say. What happens inside these four walls and what happens inside of here, you take tremendous joy and pride and like gain from that. That's what's feeding you to do this stuff, man. So when I'm sitting and I apply the logic that you're saying inside the gym, both with maybe my form and my this, but a lot of what you teach and what you talk about in there it's in here. It's the mindset. It's the not giving up. It's the, I don't have one more. Yes, I do have one more. It's a little bit of that. You're going to provide the formula. You can provide, I'm sure there's a ton of people out there that can provide a recipe to eat this food exactly as this is, and you're going to do it. But there is that portion of it. And that's a black and a white. The other end of it is a lot of what I think that you do in there, and why I like your gym, to be honest with you, man. Why I'm like, I like this place, because it's 30 minutes. You just kick my ass for 30 damn minutes. So I have time to do that, But you're also, if you're listening to what you're talking about in the beginning and towards the end, you're just like, hey, it's right here. Just the head game, the mental game, the mental portion of it. We were talking about a little bit how you coach, and would you dub yourself a coach, And I think that, like I said, man, me walking into that gym, it's your motivation, your approach, if you apply it, is, to me, for me, I guess, the logic you sometimes need to hear is just got to apply it. You just got to stink and apply it.
Oh, you got to put one foot in front of it. I can't do it for you.
Yeah, that is something that you say. But you were saying you had like 5 people that you've that have helped you out.
I did. So I had 5 mentors. Some were short time, some were years long, that were amazing at fitness. And amazing men.
Mm-hmm.
And they shared much more with me than just fitness, but they were so good and talented at that I was able to, retain the things from each of them and gather all of that, and still study it every single day, even this morning, still every day I study it all day long, because I love the science of it, and I love studies that are non-biased that prove that, this works better than this. And it's just like, that's my favorite thing. But
never stop learning.
That's right.
Never stop learning.
But those 5 gentlemen, and just having like mentors and leaders of my own and coaches, sports coaches, the soccer coaches as a kid, that like, man, I needed father figures in my life, and these guys like did way more than that. And created this, I'm really proud of who I am. And like, I want to share that with others, you know what I mean? And I want other people to feel, that they're empowered and that they could do these things, even if they never could before, and it is working.
Yeah.
Good.
I step into the gym every day. I get to see the people that are, regulars, routines, and kind of watch I forgot the guy's name. I don't know. I was there with him this morning. He comes in with Rich.
Is it Bill, big guy?
No, but he comes in with Rich. I think he works with him. He's got the gauges usually. Like,
that's Sal.
Sal?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was here this morning, and I was working out with him a little bit, man. And I told him a couple of weeks ago, man, because I noticed it, but 2, if you notice somebody, if I'm trying to be better also, if you notice that somebody's doing good, acknowledge them for a day, because it's a giant like kick. I wouldn't say it's a kick in the ass, but it's a giant push to keep on going down the road, man. So anyways, I was talking to him like a week or 2 ago, and I was like, hey, man, like for reals, like from when you stepped in here just to whenever it is, I think it's been like a month and a half, 2 months. I'm like, visually, man, keep going, dog. You know, and he was like, thanks, man. Like, I don't know if anybody else is telling him or if he's getting, getting that feedback or anything, but he's like, appreciate that, man. That means a lot, man. So
that might, from a brother to a brother, even if, you know what I mean, in the gym, we got it's very family oriented, right? And we're meant to like bring each other up. But even just like from like a man to a man, like who doesn't need that? Who couldn't use that?
Yep.
And so I'm trying to create that. You are like the culture of our gym, like definitely you fit perfect as well, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because like someone who's hard, but like knows how to go hard and knows how to learn, still open to learning, but still badass, like know what you're good at and know what you're not and be okay with that and learn and just become a better person without any kind of ego. Like, need more guys like that in your life, you know what I mean? And like someone who's like humble and wants to learn, but still a badass. And so like that's what we got in our gym.
The gym's taught me that. Your gym has kind of taught me that and showed me that a little bit more, man. Like, yeah, I'm not perfect, but I can walk in here and be humble about what I'm doing because I look at Rich. Tell Rich I'll tell Rich I talked about him on this podcast, but Rich boy,
we all talk about him.
Rich is motivation for me. And when you have people like that are next to you or across the room and you got a little eye on them, they're kind of like, is he outworking me? Damn you, Rich. You can go, you need people like that. And that's the kind of the culture and the thing that you're kind of providing over there, man. And that you push people to not push people in like a negative way, in a bad way, but motivate them to go and, hey, I'm here to help in every single dang way. Because every person that's walked through those doors, they're not just walking in, well, I guess I just need to start the gym. They're doing it probably because it's like, hey, I need the.
It's a real important reason.
It's whether it's a serious health thing, whether it's something in the brain snap where you're like, I need to do whatever it is. They walk in there for a reason, not just because they walked into like the ice cream parlor and they're like, here I am today. I'm starting the gym.
Well, even when it comes to like my gym compared to like Planet Fitness, right? Like people will go into Planet Fitness and be like, well, maybe I'll do something. I don't know. Maybe it's $15 a month. Who cares? I might come, I might not.
Is that how much Planet Fitness is?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know about Pizza Day?
They have Pizza Day at Planet Fitness?
Do you know about Planet Fitness is known to have every Wednesday.
You just gave up the customers, dude.
Depends on the
You sold them on
I'm
pizza.
telling
You
everybody.
sold them at pizza, dude.
Yeah, right. Is it pepperoni?
$15 pepperoni pizza? What do we?
Well, also there's Tootsie Rolls on the counter.
Oh
Both
my
of those
God.
things are known.
Oh, you're screwed, dude.
Yeah, sorry,
You're
bro.
done, dude.
I ruined it. So,
Funny.
well, now you can have like a dual citizenship,
I guess
right?
so.
Like,
Yeah.
but
They have a
again,
pizza
people
day.
might walk in there and be like, maybe I'll do something, but you don't walk in my gym vaguely.
No.
Like, you better be a good reason, because like it ain't cheap, and it's like it is a service, and it is there's an education, and there's definitely a lot of effort that's put into it besides just like screwing some equipment to the ground and saying go. There's a lot more effort into it. So definitely I feel like when you come into my gym, like you mean it.
Yeah,
for the most part.
You're there for a purpose. You're not just absolutely, man. That's what and people I've shared my fitness thing a little bit. I don't feel like I've gone nuts with it, but just I have friends that have reminded me, and I give them crap. Dave River Rock and some of our other friends. They're over there with the gym selfies and the this and the that, and that's just me busting my friends' balls and doing all that stuff, right?
Hey, but good on them for doing something. Man.
But on a real, but on a real conversation, on a real note, busting their balls or not, I was given the reminder, and I didn't realize this reminder until I was in it and actually doing it myself, and then relaying the message of what I am doing and how I'm moving the needle. But he told me then, he goes, hey man, I know it's, it's weird or it's this or it's that, but he's all, but I get messages from like people just randomly, just, one or two guys like, hey man, thanks man. That's a little motivation for me. This thing is going to not get the best of me. I'm going to fix this issue because this camera just keeps glitching out on us. I think Joe's right. It's the new producer.
He just mentioned about having problems at Mulholland with it too. So
I think it's a new producer, man. But our homie Dave, man.
My own equipment.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shoddy stuff you provided.
Our homeboy Dave. I was talking about Dave, and he was a big guy, and he actually he's in a band, and he was supposed to do my birthday, and Joe and I like his music and the band that he has, and he was supposed to do my birthday, and he was actually like, he had to cancel on me like a day or two before, health complications. He was getting big. He was doing a lot of beer drinking. We ride motorcycles together. He was doing a lot of drinking. He was just, eating whatever, just
culture, bro.
Yeah, that's how I was. And so I don't know what those complications were, but that's nonetheless why I had to do. But it was that moment that I know that he was like, I need to do something about this. I think that was the trigger for him to go, I got to do something about this. So he started hitting the gym. He started doing that. He's the guy that starts posting the selfies and the pictures and the gym pictures, and I'd bust his balls. But he was the one that reminded me. I knew it, and I just forgot. But he was the one that reminded me, that said, hey, there are guys out here that it's just that small motivation for them to go, hey, man, because I saw you do it, I better get my ass up and go and do it, kind of deal, So for that reason, I was like, all right, man, keep posting the gym selfie, man. I won't bust your balls no more or anything like that. I'll just, but it's real. It's there. Rich is my motivation a little bit. You got to find in your gym. I try to find, like, I don't know, I've given you my secret. I find the person in the session. I'm like, that's my motivation. That's the one I'm going to look over and I'm like, are they still going? I got to go.
Good.
I got to kind of, that's the mentality. I think that's
putting your own self in a competition without them even knowing, but you're putting your mind's in a competition.
To a degree. Yeah. I'm just trying to, like, hey, man, if someone else is going that hard, I guess what's triggering me in those moments is if someone else is going that hard and they're doing the same workout that I'm doing, then I can probably go just as hard, or I could push. All of us have our little bit different abilities. You got to read your body, and you understand your weights and all that stuff. But when you
can see effort.
I know when I'm standing there going, nobody's paying attention. I'm just kind of squatting here a little bit.
I must be slipping.
Yeah, no. But there is just that motivation, that knack that you kind of need, and that's what the gym does for people, man. So.
Glad to be it, man.
Yeah,
it's I didn't know it when I opened how fulfilling and gratifying it would be for me to see you guys kill it, to watch you guys like turn into something different. Like it's better than I ever thought it would be. Man,
so be honest now. The first day we walked in there, like, these fuckers aren't coming back. They're not coming back.
Well, so the truth, not necessarily Aaron, but more like guys like you, like,
okay,
like you gotta like be receptive to a guy like me. Like some guys are gangster and they don't want to hear shit from anybody.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's true.
So the truth is, as a personal trainer, most of my clients were women, because men just don't want to listen. They like, I know my shit. I got this garage gym. I know what to do. I'll just do curls and eat a bunch of meat or whatever it is that they say, whatever they think, whatever they were taught. And they're like, their ego holds them back. In fact, one of those 5 gentlemen that I mentioned, probably one of the most important ones, the guy who taught me to be a personal trainer, I worked out in the gym for years, right? And I thought I was great. And I ran into this guy, and he was one of my really good buddies in high school. I hadn't seen him since then. And he was in the gym, and he, hey, Jonathan, how you doing, man? Like, good to see you, gave me hugs, good to see you, Mike. And, hey, you were doing that thing. Let me show you a better way to do that incline chest fly. And he shows me, and then he goes, away. I'll see you later, bro. And then I'm like, fuck that guy. I'm like, I'm going to do it this way. And so like my ego was my ego. And, and then so we connected on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm seeing, and he's a personal trainer, and he's buff, and all his clients are buff, and he's successful. And I'm like, I mean, it took a couple months of seeing this. I'm like, I wrote him finally, and I was like, okay, you win, dude. Like, your stuff. I don't know my stuff. Like, I'll pay you. Just show me what it is that how to do that, because you know your stuff.
Yeah.
And funny, he's like, dude, you were my best friend. Like, I'll tell you what, we'll work out every Sunday. I'll show you everything I know. And we did that for years, man.
That's cool, man.
And then he allowed me to stand there for 8 hours a day and watch him be a personal trainer. And all I did, he asked all his clients to if I could stand there and watch them like some creep. And it was the best. He was the most amazing personal trainer, and so detailed and scientific and talented. And so I got, months of education through that. That was one of my best mentorships I ever had. And
That's
so
cool.
it all, I want to give that back,
There is not an aspect. Men are stubborn, boy.
Yeah.
Men are stubborn, boy. I still am. I mean, I still am. We are stubborn. I'm stubborn in business with my business partner. I am stubborn with my wife. I am stubborn with my kids. I'm stubborn with myself. It's nature, man. But what I have learned in getting older is, okay, if I don't know something about something, then I better shut my mouth and not be so damn stubborn. Like there's always, like we said, you can always learn. You can always learn. And if you're closed-minded to that thought process, it will really slow your progress in anything that you do. Like in anything that you do, it'll really slow you down because you become the I know it all guy.
Yes.
I know it all guy. Nobody can tell me nothing. My shit don't stink. You become that guy.
And at that point, people are going to watch you fail too. They're not even going to help you anymore.
Oh yeah.
They're going to sit there and watch you.
Yeah.
Well, even, Jocko Willink, who that is?
Jocko? No.
Oh yeah. You got to look him up. He's all special forces guys.
You know who he is, Mike?
Yeah, former Navy SEAL,
okay.
Well, not just that. I will describe him like this, right? Any special forces man alive, that's their hero. Like he's that badass.
Okay.
Right.
He's a creme de la creme.
He is. He's amazing. And he's a podcaster.
Oh,
but even he's definitely a guy to look up to in that context, Damn, I forgot where I was going with that. But I'll remember.
I do that.
Remind you of him?
Yeah, that's what it is. Mike Shea. Mike Shea. So
for those of you guys haven't met Mike Shea, Hey Shea 7, you can do the comparison. You can do
pretty close.
You can do
very close to the same thing. Oh no, okay. So he mentioned in leadership in the military that the best leaders, that the worst leaders were the ones who knew it all, the ones who were not receptive to even younger soldiers saying, hey, maybe this is a good idea. He said the best leaders were the ones who were humble and more receptive to change and be able to say, okay, no, this my way is not the best way necessarily. And so that's where I was going with that. And I learned a lot from the best.
What's that?
Our ways aren't always the best ways.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
no. It's like you said, we're just all stubborn men.
Men are built that way.
Yeah.
We're kind of designed that way. Our DNA is kind of not everyone has different levels of it, but there is some form of that, within it. This year I am trying to do more of that. It was one of the things I told myself. I've been vocal about it because I want people to see what I'm trying to transform. So hear what I'm going to vocalize it, and then you're going to have the ability to make the decision later on. Did he really kind of actually do that? But one of the things that I'm trying to do is shut up and listen some more. I still catch myself even during this podcast and other times where I'm like, hey, shut up and listen, because there's some knowledge or there is something you can take away from this conversation. You don't know everything about everything. Shut up and listen. It's kind of a thing I'm trying to put on this year, man.
Well, the more you listen, the more you learn, man. You can't listen and talk at the same time.
It's hard to,
right?
Yeah,
I can't.
Well, when you listen, though, you have to. One thing I've learned about listening, not just when I'm trying to roll this out, but if you listen to somebody, you got to listen to the words that they're saying. You can't listen to what they're saying and then start preparing and thinking about like preemptively what you want to respond to. Because then you're just kind of like, yeah, the sky is blue. Well, the other day I saw it was orange. So go ahead and finish your thing. I'm going to tell you about how it's orange right now. Like you can't, like when you see, you know what I'm saying?
You have
like
to listen to the whole
you
thing.
have to listen to what they're saying. Right. And if you automatically, they're trying to tell you something and you're like, yeah, but my opinion is of this, so I'm just go ahead. You're kind of like and then
but you're already thinking
but you're already trying to think about what you want.
You're not hearing nothing they're saying,
because by the time they get to the end, well, then maybe things change. But point is, when you listen, to be a good listener, you got to be like active and hear the trigger words or the words that are in that thing to go, oh, that's what they're saying. Now I can interpret it a different way. But if you're just ready, cocked one, run in the shell, one in the chamber, ready to go, you're not really kind of listening.
Yeah, it's like you're saying, listen to everything. Don't just hear what you want to hear either. You know what I mean? Because once you hear your certain thing, like you said, you start responding already. You're not listening to everything else that's in the conversation.
What's that movie? White Men Can't Jump? Do we refer that?
We all the time.
That is a reference inside of this podcast.
You can't hear Jimmy.
You can't.
You
listen
know
to,
it, buddy.
You can't listen to Jimmy. You got to hear Jimmy.
Yeah,
You got to hear Jimmy.
That is it, man.
When you were saying that, the difference between listening, I always think of Jimmy.
Yep.
White Man Can't Jump.
Yep.
That is the perfect
we
analogy.
reference that quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, it's the perfect analogy. And if you're not old like us, you might not know what White Men Can't Jump is, but it's one of the most classic movies from the 90s, man.
Not the new one either.
Yo, is there a new one?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a new one.
It's got that rapper, that curly-haired rapper in it.
Oh, yeah. I've heard they made a remake of that.
Yeah, they made a remake. It's not bad, but it's nothing compared to the.
No. Ain't nothing going to mess with Woody and Denzel.
You can't mess with Woody
and Denzel. That combo right there.
Snipes.
And, Wesley Snipes. I'm sorry. My apologies. Yes. Wait. Yeah. Wesley Snipes and
Rosie.
Yeah.
She was hot.
Yeah. Oh, she was a dime.
When that came
movie,
out.
woo. Oh, when there was that movie,
Man,
she was a dime.
right?
Yeah, she showed a little booby in there. I was like, I gotta watch that movie. She showed some booby in there.
Come on, Billy.
Rewound that one.
Come on, Billy.
Yeah.
No, Billy.
Yeah.
All right.
Reminiscent, man.
Then
Going down.
New York, Puerto Rican.
But
Yeah.
right?
You can't, like you said,
Listen.
honest,
Yeah.
listen.
Listening and hearing are two different things,
Yep.
man. So, men, bottom line, try and listen. I know my wife would tell me the same thing. You don't listen to me. Damn, I do and I don't. I guess.
I think that comes with being wise. I think that comes with more with age. Like you learn to like listen more and talk less. And all the best, men I know, they're real good at shutting up. They're real good at like, they know when it's like time to learn and better than me.
Yeah.
And they've become wiser for it. And so I've learned now, like, especially through like, other men that were amazing. And I'm like, man, I really want to be like that guy. Like, I'll shut up, like, what do you got to say about this? Cause like, those opinions are valid and something to learn from. Right?
Yeah.
But when you look at, like, compare it to like, we're not going to go down political alley, but just to make a comparison here, when Trump or whoever comes into office, they have a team that they bring in to advise them of decisions in areas that they're not completely, there's an expert for that. So when you find somebody that is an expert in that, listen, and that's why that's how it kind of functions, But so how long has Fit Body been open now, man? I've been a member there for like 7 months. How long you been in business there?
It'll be 2 years in a couple weeks.
Congratulations. Yeah. You know what? You want to hear a funny story? For me, local guy, Jonathan's from Palmdale originally, Lancaster, Palmdale area.
Palmdale.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, look at Mike over here too. Mike's like, yeah. Represent the Antelope Valley out there.
Come back to me.
As a native here in Ventura, he knows, but it's ironic that it is now a gym and before it was a pizza place. It used to be a round table pizza.
We're undoing all that shit.
We're undoing all the stuff. Yeah. I walk in there and I look, I didn't remember that it was. And then Aaron told me and I looked up and I'm like, oh yeah, that's how the pizza place was kind of in here.
Where is that?
It's well, you tell them, John.
It's on Main and Telephone in the Firehouse Plaza.
Main and
where Honey Baked is.
Yep.
Del Taco.
Every time I say those two things,
they know
someone knows where
someone knows where that is.
You know where that is.
Oh, the old round table?
Yep, that's what it
is. It is literally the old
yeah.
round table.
Yep.
Right there next to Del Taco, or
that's right.
Right
yep.
in that, okay.
Yep. You go work out and you go Del Taco. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
That's probably hard for you.
Yeah.
Ray loves him some Del Taco, boy.
I mean, it is good.
I love me
it
some
is
Del
good.
Taco.
You know what is better than Del Taco?
Chicken.
Results.
Yeah, really. Coming from the coach, buddy.
You're right.
Preach it, coach.
I got to answer for everything.
Skinny,
Right? Well, I wouldn't say skinny, but not for us.
Yeah, that's true. So on that note, that's actually a good thing for people to hear from somebody yourself as well. The workout is the workout. There is a release. There is a nice There's something that you get from the workout. You're building muscle, you're doing all that. But in my time with this, man, I've recognized, I knew, but I've started to understand, not to your level. And we got a buddy named Mikey who's really into the nutrition and understands it as well. Not to your guys' caliber, but I'm going through and being at your gym. It's the food. It's the food, man. You can work out, you can hit 245 plates all you want, but you ain't gonna grow the muscle, or you ain't gonna lose the weight if you're just eating the shit. The food, man. It's like 80% probably of this whole transformation. If you're trying to do something, it's a lot more. There's a lot more that goes into what you get out of that than there is just the physical walking into the gym, working out. You need them both.
Absolutely.
You need them both.
The hard part is leading people to want to make those changes, because everybody outside of the gym wants you to not do that.
Yeah.
Everybody like that's not in the gym is like, hey bro, like why don't you like, let's go out. Why are you doing that? Like, really, you're doing a 6-week thing? Like, come on, man, this is this weekend, really? Or, and you get a lot of opposition from family members, man. Like, I have a lot of the guys, I've had guys where their girls like never wanted to go out on a Tuesday night, but as soon as they join my gym, like, they're like, hey, let's go out to dinner. You know what I mean? Or like, and vice versa, where the guys, sabotage it for the women because they don't agree, like there's some insecurity in there, maybe. Yeah. That where they're like holding them back. I don't want you to become amazing because I'm not amazing, and so there's a lot of that.
Well, I like doing it with my wife.
But the nutrition, man, like, is where it's at anyway. So like for me, I worked out my whole life, and the only thing that changed me up or down significantly was the food. That's it. And
hit them with it. What is it? You said it the other day. I'm getting pretty good at saying that.
Chicken, fish, turkey, salmon, steak and eggs, rice, potatoes, oats, and greens. That's it.
There you go. Stick to that. There's your recipe. There's your recipe.
It's so easy. No one said it was like super entertaining.
You don't need to go get In and Out or anything. You can eat chicken, fish, fries.
Yeah. I make it like I'm happy and satisfied with the seasonings that I use. Like I've been doing it for so many years. Maybe I'm crazy, and I acknowledge that. Like, maybe not everybody can eat the same thing for 12, 15 years straight, I get that. But there are levels, and there's balance, and there's ways to do it even still.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Even at that, though, you're saying that people can't eat the same thing for so many days or weeks. That's it's like a gimmick, or like, what am I trying to say? It's like a excuse.
Yeah,
because you're already eating the same thing every other day. You're already on a plan. It's just not that plan.
You know
what I'm saying? They're eating Del Taco every 3 days. You're eating pizza once a week. You know what I mean?
So it's all a plan.
It's all a plan already. You're just not on that plan. Exactly.
It is an adjustment. And
get rid of certain things or something.
It's an adjustment mentally, but from a taste perspective, I mean, come on, man. The human, maybe not. The human enjoys food, like the natural, I feel like animal instinct in us. You love food. You love the taste of it. Not only do you love the taste of it, but you like there's shit that kicks in that makes you feel good. Cause you're like, I don't know, it comforts you.
The dopamine.
It does. There's all those type of things. So food, there is a kind of a control that food can have over you. So when you eating like all those things, they taste good, the salt and the sweet and the this and the that. But then, like, I'm on his 6-week program right now. I jump back on. I'm like, all right, I need this back in me. And, the reason I do it is because I'm like, in between the last one and this one, was I perfect? Hell no. One, it was the holidays, two. But also at the same time, I can't be crazy like Jonathan and just live off of chicken and white rice,
Got some variety.
I want some variety. But then there's the adjustment comes when I step back into this thing and I'm like, oh, maybe the first day or two, I'm like, man, I really want to go get that Del Taco up the street right now because that's what I had for lunch last week, and you're craving that. But after you get the adjustment, you get 2-3 days, you get, oh, man, that avocado tastes good. That chicken with that seasoning tastes, your palate changes. Yeah. That's the adjustment that you kind of make. And it's just getting introduced to the other foods. I think that's really all it was for me. I've told Aaron before. I've told Aaron through this thing, man, I could have just been doing this a long time ago, because there are a lot of foods on here that I
cool.
like and that I enjoy and that I'll eat as a meal. And like, I like this, I don't have to have the burger every night. It's convenient, but working with you, hearing the nutrition, the plan, how it kind of works. It's a science. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot to it, but once you kind of wrap your head around and you understand it, you understand like, oh, that's why I need to eat the protein and the this and the that.
It's good to know.
Yeah, it helps.
Putting meaning behind the reasons makes people stick with it longer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, man, two things. Like, one, the sugars, like that. I love cake and cookies, and that's my thing, right?
Sweet tooth, Joe too.
But
Joe's
I'm saying, like,
sweets.
They like that. It's a drug, man, and it takes like a couple weeks to get off.
Yeah,
it does. But also, we were not made to eat that stuff, man, and I eat it. I get it. Yeah. I'm human too, man. I like burgers. I like burritos. Same thing, man. But I have a mission as well. But we're not made to. We're made to move around all day, and we're made to eat meat and veggies and not McDonald's. There was no, you know what I mean? Up until just like 100 years ago, like there was no McDonald's. Yeah. There was only chicken, fish, turkey, salmon, steak, and egg. You know what I mean? There was only those things.
And so, like, when you eat good food or home cooked meals and you cook for yourself, even if it's not the healthiest, but you're cooking at home, and you know what I mean, it's still healthier than the fast food. I
Absolutely.
think. But when you do that and then you go have fast food, it doesn't always taste the greatest. You kind of miss your home cooked meal, or your stomach doesn't take it right, or you wake up like, I'll have McDonald's, or the kids like, hey, we want McDonald's tonight. Like, all right, dude. I wake up the next morning, little gut rot. Like, it's not like, it's not the same, man. It's,
I had Jack in the Box once.
You feel it.
I mean, I loved Jack in the Box for years, but there was finally the last time I think I ever had Jack in the Box, dude. I love like the ultimate cheeseburger or whatever. and with bacon or whatever, like, loved it. And then I remember one time I had it and it tasted good, but as soon as I was done with it, damn, I felt really like anxious, like there was MSG in it or something. Like, I realized like what it was making me feel like not only just shitty, it made me feel really bad overall and mentally. And it was enough for me to notice. And from that point, I realized like, oh, okay, like that's like what it does, and is not good, know. And
it's interesting you say that, because in your challenge, what you do is the part of it is accountability. So you have people check in every week with your numbers and your weights, and just you have a couple questions on there. That's good. You need that. If you're trying to challenge yourself, you need someone to hold you to a standard, right? And so I like that you do that. But what you were talking about, one of the questions in there was what's your biggest win this week? And I was trying to sit there and think, well, what is my biggest win? I don't know. I get the program, I'm doing my meals, so I was kind of racking my brain, but it hit me, and it was what you just said right now. We started this week, and last week I was eating but when you feed your body the right foods, it's now I'm 4 or 5 days into just this program, we can call it. I feel it, like just exactly what you said. You're on the opposite end of, man, that made me feel like dog crap, that my stomach is killing me. Now I'm whole food in right now, and eating, right percentages, macros, and all this stuff. And I could feel it. I could feel better. I'm like, man, I don't feel bloated. I can feel like I go to the gym, I'm all, man, I didn't eat chicken wings last night. I got a little more oomph or something in my oomph, So there's a direct correlation with it. What you put in is what you kind of get out, man. So food is extremely important. And that's what I've realized in this journey. And I thank you, man, for kind of being that coach in that way with your gym, because it taught me how to look at food better. And I know that's something you preach, but I made that connection before I started hearing it from you. I'm like, oh man, I could have been way better about my food. I just got to look at the right foods to eat, plain and simple. And it's changed me. Everyone, not tooting horns or anything, but you've said it. Be proud of what you do. I'm humble to it, but people, when they acknowledge, hey man, you're looking good, you lost some weight. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that. So that's a good feeling to have. And it's all the sweat, all the shit, all the time. I don't really want to walk into this gym today, but here I am,
Dude,
so
honored to aid. Again, the culture of our gym. It's you bust your butt, you come in, you follow the path, you're humble, funny as shit in the gym.
I'm not that funny.
Like he's like everyone looks forward to working out with you. The reason why you're so successful in this gym is because of it is the hard ass work that you do, but that's not it. Everybody in there works hard. You know, it is your reception to the information and your application of it. That is really what it is. You're like, when you say you're a soldier, bro, and you put one foot in front of the other, you follow the instructions, like you'll be successful. And you did exactly that. And you just have to have that kind of discipline.
Yeah.
That part's hard to find, and that part's hard to teach. And and you just either you have it in you or you can be taught, but you already had it in you, man. You showed up like that. I have
the curse of like obsession, or like, I don't know. I have that stupid curse in me, man.
That's how you do good at
it. It's a good thing, and it's a bad thing. Trust me. It racks my brain. It keeps me up at night sometimes, but it also is the motivation that keeps me rolling and shit, man. So, but I appreciate the culture that you bring over there, man. I know that, you know, your message over there at the gym is you want to inspire, you want to teach, you want people to take out more than just what they're walking in with to get a workout. To, like you say, don't just move the weights. You know, you're in here to make, you're there with a purpose, man. And that's why I'm riding with you, man. You've done good things for me, man. You've changed, you've helped with my fitness stuff. You've helped with my mentality of how to approach that fitness game and how to kind of like tweak my stuff, you know. And so keep
honored, bro.
Keep kicking my ass, man. You know,
appreciate you,
keep
man.
Kicking my ass. We're gonna get Mike in there.
You in here too, man.
Yeah, we're gonna Mike's wife. Mike's wife joined as well, so we'll get Mike in there relatively soon. I brought my buddy Ricardo and stuff, man. People see you do it, like we said. People see you do it. I post and talk to people. Hey, I'm doing this, and that's the kick in the ass that sometimes that they need. So
I think that there's. You know enough people that like when you say those things like that, you're reaching people. Like they're not just like, oh, there's Ray. Like they're listening to what you're saying, man. You know what I mean? So like you have a platform, man, and you're using it in the right way. Not to promote my gym, but I mean, you're helping others, man, by, you know what I mean? Like not just talking about the gym, by talking about like mental health and like how to like become a better man and all together. So, hey, bro, I ride with you for the same reason.
Hell yeah, brother.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, man. This is the type of men that I like to keep in my circle, man. This is it right here. These are the type of men that we surround ourselves with, that are putting in the work, that have this type of mentality, and seek those. They're out there, and talk to people. Yeah. I think that's the best way to make the connection, man. So, of course, like everybody else, man, I want people to know, like, if they want to get plugged in with you, if you want to look all good like me, all right, I'm a married man, but if you want to be looking fly like, no, I'm just kidding. If you want this guy to help you out and get you on your program and just help you understand this stuff, where can they find you? How can they get in contact with you?
Well, you could go to a Ventura Fit Body Boot Camp, all one word, in Instagram or Facebook. Or you could call me at 805-363-6037. Oh, I'm asking for it now, but I'll take it. Call me. I'll hook you up.
Call him. Yeah, call him. I got his direct line. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
He just gave it up.
I just gave it up.
Yeah.
I hope this thing blows up, and I got to get two numbers.
That's it right there, man. So if you're looking for a fit body in Ventura, they're doing it for me, man. It's a good culture. It's a good gym. I appreciate what's going on there. I appreciate your message. So make sure to give them a follow. Joe, got any closing notes, bud?
No, I'm good.
Good shit, man. All right, man. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, man. Every Thursday right here, 7 o'clock on the YouTube channel.
I do. Just to throw out there, the gym and everything threw in a lot of toys for the toy drive as well.
Yeah.
And the members.
Man.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Thank you guys for that as well.
Hey,
we appreciate that.
To be honest,
made a lot of kids happy, man.
You guys put that together. I was only inspired by you guys doing that. And this next time you guys do that, we're going to do it for a whole month.
Appreciate that.
We appreciate it, man.
Really contribute to your guys' drive.
I just want to let the people know, man, that these guys do a lot, and he's not just helping Ray look beautiful over there. They made a lot of kids smile as well. So thank you guys for that.
It's a community thing around here, man. So 7 o'clock every Thursday, YouTube channel, podcast every Friday morning over on Spotify. And our vlogs drop every single Monday, 4 p.m. So make sure you catch us over on that. It's been fun. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks again, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Later, guys.
Peace.